I'm going to talk a bit about Circle's mission, vision, strategy in the future, as Cash talked about. And this first piece of content here, which talks about our mission. This has been our mission really since we founded the company, to raise global economic prosperity through the frictionless exchange of value. And I'm going to talk about how we're manifesting and realizing that mission and vision today. But first, I'm incredibly excited that today Circle is officially launching in Brazil. That's right. We started this journey a while ago, and it's come together for Circle Forum São Paulo today. I'm so pleased to be here with all of you. I'm so pleased to be here with so many of our existing partners and people in the ecosystem. But we are partnering with leading companies in Brazil, with Nubank, who is obviously one of the most important global innovators in all of banking and all of fintech and all of retail finance. Today, we also are announcing a critical partnership with BTG Pactual, which is going to be being our direct liquidity partner here in Brazil. What is that going to mean? It's going to mean at a retail level and at an institutional level, individuals and firms are going to be able to have nearly instant 24/7 minting and redemption of USDC in Brazil using Real in the local banking system. So in addition to this, and this is launching imminently, it's not launching today, but very, very soon. In addition to this, we're excited because we're investing in Brazil. We're hiring in Brazil. We're building a local presence here to work with all of you, to work with developers, to work with leading financial institutions, and we're investing here in the region, and Brazil is going to be huge. It already is huge, but it's going to be, I believe, as you hear a little bit about where we're headed as a company, it aligns so much with some of the opportunities, so many of the opportunities that we're trying to reach for as a company. So I'm going to touch a little bit more on the history of the company, but I want to actually start by highlighting, we're at the end of this today, right? We're signing partnerships and we're launching in new markets, et cetera. We're at the end of this timeline today. Today is the furthest we've ever been as Circle. But the company was founded, again, with that mission statement that I shared earlier, nearly 11 years ago. And the company has an important and long history. I'm not going to go through all of the pieces on this slide, but there's several things that I want to call out. The first is that Circle has been consistent in our pursuit since the very earliest stages on trying to find a way to take fiat, to take what we think of as traditional government-backed currency money and make it work on open public internet infrastructure using blockchains. We've been consistent about that. We've also been consistent about trying to do things in a clear, trusted, transparent, and regulated fashion. We have worked with policymakers. We have worked with regulators. We have become very broadly licensed and supervised from our inception. And we do that everywhere we go. And that's critical because we're talking about money and we're talking about the trust and transparency that's so core to that money. So that all the way through has been a critical piece. Another key piece for us is, as a result of that work of being trusted and transparent and compliant, is that we've been able to work with some of the most important companies in the world in finance, in payments, in banking. And it speaks to that credibility that's there. And we're so proud here in Brazil to be working with some of the most important and credible financial institutions in the world, but also in the region here. The last is that this is a history of constant technical iteration and innovation. We've been improving the core infrastructure that is necessary to make stablecoins work at scale, making them work across all these innovative networks and so on. So that's a little bit of the history. The philosophy behind the company has really been rooted in this idea that in the coming years, and this is really the philosophy when we started as well, is that there's going to be a new internet-based financial system, an internet financial system that will be built up, and it will be powered by blockchain networks. And the way we think about blockchain networks is in some ways very similar to like operating systems. These are general purpose infrastructures that people can use for data and transactions and computing. They're useful for many, many things and many, many types of applications, and they're constantly innovating and improving. And so these blockchain networks are a new infrastructure layer for the internet, and they happen to be extremely well designed with this goal of building a financial system. And they're optimized for things like always on internet scale use, very low or almost no costs increasingly, constant rapid innovation. The technology is constantly improving, constantly being upgraded. It's open source. Anyone can get at it. And that model, this kind of infrastructure, is going to be the backbone of improving the existing financial system, but actually building a new internet financial system. And we believe that the internet financial system is going to be a far safer financial system, a far more inclusive global financial system, and it's going to be accomplishing that by building on the power of open infrastructure, the power of open networks, the power of open source technology. It's also going to be built on fully reserved digital currency money, the safest base layer of money that will move at incredible velocity on the internet and will unlock increasingly not just on-chain finance, but actually the building blocks of commerce itself. And over time, an entire on-chain economy where organizations, commerce, finance, governance, all of these things that are at the core of the way all economic organizations work will move on chain. And so our view and our belief is that just as the internet built global scale utilities for communications and media and information and data, the internet financial system is going to really achieve something at as large of or even larger a scale in terms of ultimate societal impact. This is a humongous market. The market for electronic money dollars today is about $21 trillion. Stablecoins are a mere approximately 150 billion today. This form of full reserve digital dollars will consume a larger and larger portion over time of electronic money. It's a superior form of money. And it's not just the actual amount of money that will exist in this form, it's the utility of that. The utility of stablecoins is still in its nascent phase. While it's grown a lot in the crypto capital markets, it's still nascent in international remittance, cross-border settlements, cross-border payments. It's still nascent, incredibly nascent in the trillion-dollar revenue stream of handling consumer payments. It's still nascent in reaching not just in the digital asset markets, but reaching into traditional capital markets as a better mechanism. And importantly, we haven't even begun to experience what happens when you unleash programmable money, programmable and composable money by entrepreneurs and developers and builders everywhere in the world. And so the applications and the utility of this new form of money, we don't even know what's going to emerge there. And so we are in an early stage in a massively scaled opportunity. So how is Circle trying to address this? We are building the largest and most widely used stablecoin network in the world. And we believe that this stablecoin network will be accessible to every person on every device, and they'll all have the ability to use this new form of digital money. But we're building this as an open platform. We're building this as a platform that developers and companies can build on. And all of this is being built on public open networks. And money on the internet is going to thrive on these public open networks. The Circle stablecoin network, we really think about as a platform and a utility that developers and companies can access, utilize, and build on. We build the infrastructure. We build the liquidity infrastructure. We work with distributors that reach end users, that activate new uses for USDC, EURC, etc. We work to make those APIs available broadly, freely to anyone that wants to build and integrate these protocols into their own applications. And this creates a powerful network effect where all of the participants, the end users, the developers, the businesses, the distributors, everyone benefits. It's a very, very powerful ecosystem and a network utility that is growing. So many of the partnerships that we're just forming here are a result of these network effects, people wanting to have that reach and access and interoperability that comes with it. So as a company, we're building the Circle stablecoin network by investing in three fundamental pillars. And these are the pillars of our platform. Our liquidity infrastructure, which is providing safe, robust, liquid, widely available digital dollars and digital euros around the world. Our blockchain infrastructure services, which is our own public network infrastructure, our stablecoin protocols, cross-chain transfer protocols, and more that we're developing to provide base infrastructure for anyone to access and utilize and benefit from end users to the biggest financial firms in the world. And our Web3 services, which are providing a technology services stack to accelerate how developers and enterprises and financial institutions can build applications that integrate to these networks. So I want to drill into the foundation of this and talk about the core stablecoin assets, just to remind you of how we've built this and what we've built. There's some bedrock principles that have been fundamental to how we've approached things with USDC. Safety, so certainty of funds, minimizing risk, trusted institutions and intermediaries. Liquidity, which is providing 24/7, highly available liquid infrastructure all around the world. Transparency, the highest levels of transparency that are available on the reserves and on the firm itself. Regulatory leadership, which is about forging the path for stablecoins as a legal form of digital money everywhere in the world, and technology innovation. Today, Circle, I believe, is the most transparent financial institution in the world. Why do I say that? Unlike many other financial institutions, we provide an unparalleled level of transparency. We describe with the blockchain every unit of money that's available, and you can see every transaction and everything that happens with that money. Our reserves, which we hold in a way which enables USDC to be treated like a cash equivalent instrument, as close as possible to government obligation money as we can get. Today, that's in short-term US Treasury bonds, that's in overnight repos with global systemically important banks, over-collateralized with Treasury bonds, and cash that is almost entirely held with multiple global systemically important banks. So incredibly safe base of reserves. But the transparency is key. We provide daily visibility into every single instrument in that Circle Reserve Fund. You can search USDXX and you can see exactly what's in there. And that's in an SEC registered, supervised, and audited standalone reserve fund structure that you can look at today. And that's been in place for over a year. We provide weekly transparency in all of the flows, the reserve assets, the minting, redemption, so you can see how liquid this is. We do twice monthly attestations with a Big Four accounting firm that ensures that what we say is actually true. And then full year audits of the firm from, again, major Big Four public accounting firms. So very high degree of transparency. And it works. In 2021 to 2024, you can see the amount that we've minted and the amount that we've redeemed. It's always liquid, always one for one. And we have 24/7, 365 funds flow capabilities globally in many cases. And now, with our launch in Brazil, we'll provide that same local liquidity, that same ability to mint and redeem at a retail and institutional level here in the Brazilian market. So that liquidity infrastructure is growing all around the world. It's live in the US, almost imminently here in Brazil, Singapore, Hong Kong, the EU, and coming to more markets as well, Mexico, Japan, and others. So at the bottom of this stack is our blockchain infrastructure services, our stablecoin protocols, so USDC, EURC. USDC is available now, I think, on at least 16, maybe 17 different blockchain networks, and we continue to work with innovative networks, ecosystems to make that consistently available wherever there's innovation in the blockchain ecosystem. And that enables anyone in the world, any developer in the world, to integrate programmable money and digital dollar storage, settlement, and use into their applications in a permissionless fashion. And our cross-chain transfer protocol, which we launched last year, which now accounts for the majority of all USDC traffic flow across different blockchains. And CCTP provides a way to teleport USDC between ecosystems without locking assets, without capital inefficiency, without security and theft risk. And so it's a huge breakthrough in terms of making it easier and safer to use digital dollars on all these blockchain networks. And our Web3 services, which are now being used by some of the biggest internet-facing companies in the world, companies with hundreds of millions of end users that are integrating our Web3 wallet stack into their consumer applications with our programmable wallets that allows developers to build Web3 infrastructure that's either self-custody or developer-controlled across multiple blockchain networks and including smart contract wallets. Our smart contract platform that makes it simple to build, deploy, operate, and manage smart contracts across chains and operate the infrastructure needed to run those smart contracts. And Gas Station, which is available on key EVM chains and is imminently going to be available on Solana, which provides a way for developers to take on gas so that end users don't have to know anything about this behind the scenes, kind of to make the UX of interacting with digital applications, Web3 apps, stablecoins more seamless and simple for end users. So when we look at this today, as I mentioned earlier, we're still in the early stages of this. We're still in a world where stablecoins, we believe, will grow into the trillions in circulation over the coming decade. And they'll reach into every category of financial application that exists. And we're seeing today tremendous examples across all of these. Just weeks ago, Stripe, one of the most important global merchant payment acceptance companies in the world, one of the most valuable financial technology companies in the world, launching USDC payment acceptance that will become available to their 3 million merchants alongside credit cards and debit cards. That's a statement to where they think the efficiencies and user experience of payments are going. We worked with one of the very largest asset issuers in the world, BlackRock, to enable USDC as a way to move funds from a new tokenized government money fund product, the BIDL fund from BlackRock. We're working with huge firms, both regionally and internationally, on this store of value and cross-border payment use case as well. And then obviously in digital asset trading, we're seeing the biggest exchanges in the world leaning into USDC as the market for stablecoins becomes more regulated and becomes more institutionalized. we believe we're going to continue to see great growth there. So for Circle, I think about our first 10 years, where we've gotten to today, as basically reaching the 1.0 vision that we had when we set out to start the company just over 10 years ago. We had this idea of open global networks for dollar digital currency that could be programmable and composable and work at scale. It's taken 10 years to actually realize that 1.0 vision. But we're just getting started. We're really at the beginning. And we're entering a world today where in virtually every major G20 market, stablecoins are going to be legally defined and regulated as a form of money in the financial system. That's happening everywhere. By the end of 2025, stablecoins will be a major new form of money in the world, and the infrastructure behind it will become significantly more widely available as global scale companies turn this on. We'll see the experience of interacting with this go from hundreds of millions to billions of people. We'll see the ability to interact with this as an end user or a business become more seamless, more transparent, more simple, more safe. So we're really just at the start of this incredible growth phase in this building of the internet financial system. And I think about all of us here in the room today. Everyone is here because we all want to be part of building the internet financial system. We're all contributing to that already in some way. All of us have been inspired by this idea that we can build a radically more safe, more efficient, more effective, more inclusive global financial system. We're all inspired by that. And when you look at the progress that's being made technically, and the progress that's being made in law, at the progress that's being made in how people are utilizing this, it's pretty impressive. And we all have each other to thank for that progress. But when you think about where we are today, and you think about the next 10 years, and imagine what this can be in the next 10 years, it's truly astounding. And I am so grateful to be working not just with the team at Circle, but with this entire ecosystem to be building what I believe is going to become an incredible epic in the evolution of the internet and its role in our entire society and economy. So thanks for coming out today. Very, very excited to see you all throughout the day and tonight. And hopefully you enjoy an awesome agenda here at Circle Forum. Thank you.